My brother is currently blasting me on every social media platform for being a traitor, but he seems to have forgotten the 6 months he spent trying to humiliate the woman I am going to marry.
AITA for refusing to be my brother's groomsman because he treated my fiancé terribly for months. My brother is currently blasting me on every social media platform for being a traitor, but he seems to have forgotten the 6 months he spent trying to humiliate the woman I am going to marry. He thinks his wedding day is a magical reset button for his behavior, but I have decided that my loyalty to my fiancé outweighs his desire for a perfect wedding party. I have always had a complicated relationship with my older brother, Mark. Growing up, he was the star athlete, the straight-A student, and the one my parents held up as the gold standard. I did not mind it too much back then because we generally got along, but as we have reached our late 20s, his confidence has curdled into a very specific kind of arrogance. He thinks his way of living is the only correct way, and anyone who does not fit his narrow definition of success is beneath him. Enter my fiancée, Sarah. Sarah is a freelance illustrator, she has a sleeve of tattoos that tell the story of her life, and she is the most compassionate person I have ever met. When I introduced her to the family 3 years ago, my parents were a bit surprised by her look but quickly grew to love her because she makes me incredibly happy. Mark, however, decided from day one that Sarah was a phase or a rebellious choice. He started small, making comments about how it must be nice to not have a real job or asking if she was worried about what her tattoos would look like when she was 80. We tried to laugh it off, thinking he was just being an overprotective older brother. The behavior escalated significantly about 6 months ago when Mark got engaged to his longtime girlfriend, Claire. Claire is nice enough, but she is very much the traditional, quiet type that Mark prefers. Once they started planning their wedding, Mark became unbearable. At every family dinner, he would find a way to slight Sarah. He would talk about how high-class their wedding was going to be and then look directly at Sarah and say things like, "I hope you have something in your closet that does not involve denim or skulls." The breaking point happened at our parents' anniversary dinner. Mark had a few drinks and decided to give a speech. He started talking about how happy he was to be marrying someone like Claire who understands the value of a respectable image. Then, he looked at me and said, loud enough for the whole table to hear, that it was a shame I was settling for a temporary distraction instead of building a legacy. Sarah was humiliated. She tried to keep a brave face, but she ended up spending the rest of the night in the bathroom. When I confronted Mark in the kitchen, he did not apologize. He told me I needed to grow a spine and realize he was only trying to help me see that Sarah was not family material. 2 weeks later, Mark called me and asked me to be his best man. He acted like the dinner incident never happened. He started talking about the custom suits he wanted the groomsmen to wear and the bachelor party in Vegas. I let him finish his pitch before I told him that I would not be standing at the altar with him. I told him that until he issued a sincere, public apology to Sarah for the months of disrespect and the comments at our parents' dinner, I would not be part of his wedding party. Mark lost his mind. He accused me of being sensitive and said that Sarah was brainwashing me into turning against my own blood. He said his wedding was about him and Claire, and that I was being incredibly selfish by making it about my little girlfriend's hurt feelings. I told him that if she was not family material, then I should not be part of his family event. Since then, it has been a nightmare. My parents are calling me every day, begging me to just apologize and take the role. My mother says that Mark is just like that and that I should not let a few mean words ruin a milestone moment. She says the family will never hear the end of it if I am not in the photos. Claire even messaged me, saying that my refusal is stressing Mark out so much that it is ruining their planning process. Sarah is the only one who is not pressuring me. In fact, she told me that she would be okay if I did it just to keep the peace. She said she does not want to be the reason I have a falling out with my brother. But seeing her try to be the bigger person only makes me want to defend her more. I love my brother, but I cannot stand up there and celebrate his perfect life when he has spent so much time trying to tear mine down. He has not apologized. Instead, he has doubled down, telling our extended family that I am choosing a girl I have known for 3 years over the brother I have known for 30. I have been told I am being dramatic and that I am throwing a tantrum over sibling rivalry. Mark sent me a text yesterday saying that if I am not his best man, I am not invited to the wedding at all, and he will consider our relationship over. My parents are devastated and blame me for the rift. I feel like I am standing up for my future wife, but the pressure from everyone else is starting to make me wonder if I should just swallow my pride for the sake of family unity. AITA.